Are these non-voluntary isolation camps, FEMA camps? Thank you for tuning in to Hard News TV 2. I'm your host, Terry Lynn, and this is the channel where truth is like archaeology, and every day we're digging for it. Today is May 21st, 2020, and this article is from yesterday from WND in Washington State. Written order shows state falsely claiming isolation camps are voluntary. Health officials will sign detention order if you do not comply with this request. Now, is this how they're going to isolate the political enemies, the enemies of the state, by saying they all have COVID-19 so their neighbors won't be suspicious when they're rounded up and brought to an isolation camp by detention order? No trial, no court date, no due process. I mean, they're just going to throw you away. A Washington state lawmaker is alerting citizens to isolation camps set up in his state and others to house people who become infected with COVID-19, warning that contrary to the conventional narrative, they are not voluntary. State Representative Matt Shea of Spokane area in eastern Washington explained in a video interview with the New American Magazine that the camps are part of the Democratic Governor Jay Inslee's policy of contact tracing, which has been implemented by many states. So now he's using contact tracing to round people up and involuntarily put them in isolation camps. And now every state is getting contact tracing procedures in place. Apple just released the tracing app. And now are they going to follow suit and see that Washington's numbers are down by having these isolation camps, and we all get put in an isolation camp, a FEMA camp? Because where is this isolation camp? Who is running this isolation camp? He explained that the tracers visit people who may have been affected and advise them that they can isolate at a center to protect members of their household. While the infected person may be asked to volunteer, the government makes it clear that people can be forcefully quarantined, Shea pointed out. He read a line from a form that local health officers are to present to someone who is infected. It says, if you do not comply with this request for voluntary confinement, I will sign a detention order enforced by the police to ensure your compliance. Now remember, the police got your address now, and they'll just sign it and let the police go pick you up. Does this feel like America anymore? This is 1984. Shea said the centers are being set up at county fairgrounds, and he is hearing of it happening in other states. So I wonder who's running it. Is it FEMA? He noted that another element of the contact tracing in Washington state was Inslee's order that restaurants log the names and contact information of anyone who sits down to eat. Fierce opposition to the policy led to the governor withdrawing that measure. Shea said the media, acknowledging there are isolation camps, have called the claim that they are not voluntary a conspiracy theory. Facebook, in fact, has been censoring posts, he said, insisting it is voluntary, but it is not voluntary, he pointed out. When you have a detention order enforced by police to ensure compliance. The Washington State Department of Health issued a statement on May 15th on misinformation circulating on the quarantine orders in facilities in Washington state. The state insisted actions regarding isolation and quarantine are voluntary, confidential, despite the misinformation being spread by some. But later in the statement, the health department says local health officials have the authority to isolate or quarantine the individual. So now states are saying they have the right to take you away, imprison you by legal right, and we have Alan Dershowitz saying the state has the right to grab you by the arm and stick a needle in it. Each local health jurisdiction in Washington has plans and processes in place should voluntary isolation or quarantine be needed, the statement says. So, I want to bring y'all this. Non-voluntary isolation camps, detention centers in Washington, D.C., and a state representative is talking about the dangers of it. Y'all leave me your comments below and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.